For tonight, the meeting agenda, we'll start off with our flag salute. We'll go through some announcements. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have Basil Hewitt and Mary Jacobs are here to give us a report on the final chloride environmental impact report. They're going to tell us about what was decided after we asked all those questions and we've spent all that time. Then our favorite Santa Clarita doctor, Dr. Dorio, is going to give us a presentation on health care and why that should be a Santa Clarita Valley election issue. And I'm going to pay very special attention to that. Okay. Next, our version of public participation, which is 5 minutes, 5 people, 1 minute per person. So if you have something you want to talk about, please sign up in the back of the room and we'll talk about that. Then previews of our next meeting, and we'll adjourn promptly at 9 o'clock. You know, the wall was here. The Vietnam Wall was here, 58,000 names on it. And one of the things about that is that we keep, when we look at that, we look at people that have died in the war. And so I thought for tonight, what we ought to do is talk about someone that survived, someone that did a great thing, but he's not on the wall, and we're glad of it. And so I wanted to talk about Peter Lemon and what happened to him on April the 1st, 1970. 19-year-old Peter Lemon was exhausted, scared, and fighting for his life. He was bleeding from numerous shrapnel wounds in his head, back, and neck. These had been inflicted by an enemy mortar that had exploded near him earlier. Lemon was fortunate. That same mortar round had literally vaporized one of his close friends and fellow soldiers. For more than 3 hours, the battle had raged at fire support base Inglesworth, and Pete and his 18-man platoon had just returned from another recon patrol, hoping to get a good night's rest. But on this night, there was no sleep. Close to 400 enemy soldiers swarmed the American outpost, and they had chosen that area of the perimeter defended by Pete's platoon as their point of attack. Already, the young soldier had successfully fought back 2 waves of enemy soldiers, survived the mortar attack, watched 3 friends die, and carried another wounded comrade to safety. Each time the enemy had come, Pete Lemon had fought with fury, determined that if he could survive this assault, the worst would be over. Wounded a second time, when a 3rd wave appeared poised to overrun the perimeter, it seemed that all hope for survival was lost. Determined to go down fighting, the soldier found a working machine gun and jumped on the top of a berm, and in a fully exposed position continued to fire at the enemy. Wounded yet a 3rd time in that final assault, and then having to fend off the enemy in hand-to-hand combat, the fearless Army Ranger survived. In the days that followed, he surveyed the impact of that night from his hospital bed. Every man in his platoon had been wounded. Dead were 3 of his closest friends. His old wounds would require more than a month of hospitalization, yet he refused to be evacuated until the other wounded had been flown to a field hospital. Peter Lemon's war was over within 6 months. He had returned to his hometown in the state of Michigan as a civilian. When word arrived the following spring that President Nixon would present the Medal of Honor to him at the White House, Peter Lemon seriously considered turning down the award. There had been 18 heroes on this section of the perimeter that night, 3 of whom had died. The medal, if there was to be one, belonged to them, not to me. So with that, understanding that there are heroes all around us and some of the brave things that our brave men and women have done around the country, Mr. Colley, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just some quick announcements so we can get going. The first public outreach meeting for the Soledad Canyon Road Corridor Plan is going to take place on October the 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Joanne Darcy Library in Canyon Country. So this is kind of the same process that Lyons Avenue went through. And if you're interested in putting your input in, be there on October the 23rd. Also, I think this is a very interesting and a very worthwhile thing. It's the Interfaith Council. And October the 22nd from 7 to 8:30 at Barnes & Noble, they're going to talk about women in faith. And the panel is going to be made up of Jewish, Muslim, and Christian faiths, and they're going to talk about how women, especially here in this country, interact with their own group. And I think it would be a very worthwhile thing to do. I just wanted to make you aware that during the fall and winter season, starting Monday on October the 14th, street sweeping is going to come back every week from between 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And supposedly they're going to be done on the days of trash collection. So keep an eye out for that. The day after? Day after? Okay, keep an eye out, and if it doesn't happen, make sure to call down there and remind them to do that for you. For our attendance, we watch our attendance figures. I don't think I have last week's on there, but it's looking pretty good. Tonight looks great, so that'll do us a good thing. And remember that we also watch our video statistics. The blue line being the line of who watches the first month, and then the red line if in case people continue to watch it. So here in these video statistics, you can see that it went up to 40. And when it went up, are we focusing? I thought it was my glasses. I thought it was my, no, first I go backwards and then I don't focus. It's really good. So no wonder I could read this one better than that one. Okay. Anyway, the number went up to 40. The 40 views last month were the discussion about the open space purchases and the funds that were used to buy them. So if you know what happened there, went to the council. They said, yes, it's true. We pulled the money from the wrong place. So they went and readjusted and brought in resources from the right area and moved the open space money back into the open space account. So that was a good thing. Worked out really well. But yeah, so that's an interesting deal. Anyway, do we have any public participants today? We do. Doug Fraser. I've heard of that guy.
Thank you. My name's Doug Fraser. I'm on the rent adjustment panel. The doctor said that the city has rent control on the mobile homes. It's not rent control. It's procedures to prevent increases that are excessive. And the city has really emphasized that it's not rent control. We're trying to make it more available to avoid the excess rents. I'm on the panel. The panel consists of 5 members, 2 owners, 2 representatives. We've just been reelected. Now we're in the process of electing or selecting the 5th member. This member is a member of the society. He comes from a mediating background, and the city, I'm not here representing the city asking for participation. I'm here as a representative for the residents in the parks asking for people to sign up. Alan has taken one of these forms. He says he might. The city has the obligation of providing 5 members, 5 potential members, and then the panel selects which member is to serve with them on the 3 years. Well, the city right now is saying they can only obtain 1 member, and I'm saying that that's not appropriate. Don't give us this 1 member, take it or leave it program. And they're saying, well, they can't find any volunteers. So there's a form you fill out. All you do is serve 3 years on the panel. There's only 1 member will be chosen. So if we get 15 volunteers, only 1 member is going to be serving. So what I want to do is show the city that there are potential volunteers. They don't have to just give us this 1 take it or leave it program. So that's pretty much my statement tonight. And if you can go on the city website, you can read the ordinance and it'll tell you the duties. On here you just fill out, your name and address, a statement that says, I'm willing to serve, I have been an officer in this club or done this with this meeting, and then you sign the bottom. Give these back to me. I'll take them to City Council Tuesday night, or you can actually fax it in or email it in to the city, but we need to get more people signed up so that it's a legal process of selecting 1 out of 5. Thank you. Any questions on it?
You know, I had a thought about this.
You do?
Yeah, I had a thought about that. You might be surprised. But if we want people with mediation experience, anybody that has raised more than one child at a time has plenty of mediation experience. So there you can use that as a rationale.
Okay.
For the next meetings, we're going to, we'll talk a little bit more about the SCV Sanitation District Chloride decision. That should be done by then. We're going to try to start our city council meet and greets January. That'll be total. And we're juggling this constantly because we're finding out different dates and different numbers, or different dates and different events that are occurring. On February the 19th of 2014, I guess we've already negotiated the Canyon Country Advisory Committee City Council Election Forum, which will be run by Mr. Cardenas. And on February the 20th, the SCV Chamber will be doing a City Council Election Forum. So in that period of time, we should have plenty of opportunities to listen to the candidates debate with each other. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for choosing to attend the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. I want to thank Basil and Mary for showing up once again, and Dr. Dorio for his great presentation. And I hope to see all of you back here again next month. Thank you very much.